I never thought betrayal could cut this deep. But as I stood there, my heart pounding, watching the scene unfold before me, I realized that some wounds don't bleed, they burn. Hello. Thank you for your continuous support. This means a lot to us. If you enjoy the stories we share, kindly subscribe to this channel. It would be great if you could leave a comment about which city you're watching from. We might just give you a shout out in our next story. Now, let's dive into the details of today's story. It started like any other evening. I had been working late, wrapping up the last bits of a project that had consumed most of my time for the past few weeks. Exhausted, I decided to surprise her. I picked up her favorite wine, a bouquet of white lilies. She always said they reminded her of the field near her grandmother's house, and headed home, eager to see her smile. But when I pulled into our driveway, something felt off. The lights were dimmed, a single lamp casting flickering shadows against the living room curtains. I stepped inside quietly, not out of suspicion, but out of habit. That's when I heard it. Laughter. Low, intimate, and unfamiliar. I should have left. I should have turned around and walked away before my world shattered. But instead, I stepped forward, my pulse hammering in my ears, and saw them. She was on the couch, curled up next to him, the way she used to curl up next to me. Her fingers traced patterns on his arm, lazy and familiar, and when she laughed again, he leaned in, his lips grazing her neck. It was a touch I knew too well, one that once belonged to me. The wine bottle slipped from my grasp, shattering against the hardwood floor. They jumped apart, their faces frozen in twin expressions of horror. But nothing could compare to the devastation flooding through me. "James," she gasped, pulling the blanket around herself as if that could shield her from the truth. "It's not. Don't." My voice was barely above a whisper, but it held the weight of every broken piece of me. "Just don't." The man, her lover, stood up, hands raised in some weak attempt at surrender. I recognized him. Of course I did. He was my best friend. "How long?" My voice was calm, eerily so. "James, please," she started, but I turned to him instead. "How long?" He hesitated. She turned away, as if that could erase the truth. 6 months. A sharp, bitter laugh escaped me. 6 months. Half a year. While I stayed late at the office, while I planned weekend getaways, while I held her at night and told her she was my world, she had already replaced me. "I never meant to hurt you," she whispered. "Then why did you?" Silence. There were no excuses that could undo what had been done. No apologies that could piece me back together. I walked out that night, the scent of lilies still clinging to my fingers. The air was cold, but not as cold as the realization that the woman I had loved was nothing more than a stranger now. The divorce papers came weeks later. She didn't fight. Maybe she knew there was nothing left to save. Months passed, and the pain dulled, but the scars remained. Betrayal does that. It doesn't just break you, it reshapes you. And as I stood on the threshold of my new apartment, free from the ghost of what we once were, I knew one thing for certain. Some endings aren't tragedies. They're beginnings. But even new beginnings can be haunted by the past. Weeks later, I received a message from an unknown number. At first, I ignored it, assuming it was a mistake. But then another came. "You don't know the full story. Meet me." I stared at the screen, my fingers tightening around my phone. The number wasn't hers. It wasn't his. But something in my gut told me that this wasn't over. Curiosity won over anger, and against my better judgment, I agreed to meet. The address led me to a small cafe in the city, tucked between old bookstores and quiet alleyways. A woman sat in the corner, her eyes scanning the room until they landed on me. "James?" Her voice was soft, cautious. I nodded, sliding into the seat across from her. "Who are you?" She hesitated before speaking. "My name is Olivia." and I think we have something in common. Her eyes held something familiar: pain, betrayal, a story untold. My chest tightened. You knew them? I asked. She exhaled sharply. I knew him. He wasn't just your best friend, he was my husband. A cold weight settled in my stomach. Was. He died 3 days ago. My breath caught. What? Her hands clenched together on the table. I don't know the full truth yet, but I think whatever happened between them led to something much bigger, something dangerous, and I need your help to find out why. The room suddenly felt smaller. My betrayal, my heartbreak. Had I been so consumed by it that I had missed something more? Something deadly? I leaned forward, my pulse quickening. Tell me everything. And just like that, the past I had tried to escape pulled me right back in. Over the next few days, Olivia and I pieced together fragments of truth. The more we uncovered, the more sinister the picture became. It wasn't just an affair, it was something calculated, something planned. Bank statements, hidden messages, and a mysterious offshore account. My ex-wife had been lying to me about more than just love. She and my former best friend had been involved in something far beyond infidelity. And then Olivia found the photograph, an image of them with a third man. A man neither of us recognized, but he recognized us. Because the next night, someone tried to break into Olivia's apartment. Now, this wasn't just about heartbreak, it was about survival.